Hey there, I'm Emily, host of the 3315 Hear the Blessed, the show where we talk about being a young Christian in crazy times. Hey there, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another episode of the 3315. Today, since May is Mental Health Month, this episode is going to be on mental health. Surprise, surprise. Specifically on how to care for it. Now, for us in this day and age, we have a lot more resources to help us with mental health, a lot more research, and those of us in the younger generations, we tend to be a lot more conscious, aware, and, have things we want to do to help our mental health. We're not saying that we're experts, but we definitely live in a time where mental health is definitely at the forefront of something important to take care of. And it definitely is, because it's very complex, yet just as essential, if not more essential, than your physical health. So what does that have to do with being a Christian, or even a young Christian? Well, many things. There's already a lot of stigma around mental health, which can come from stereotypes, negative views of it due to effects poor mental health can have, just being seen that way as someone that has problems and issues, having issues wanting to ask for help. And as Christians, it can seem like we should just be fine, right? That if we're not doing well or are struggling, that may be a lack of faith or we're just not good enough, but that's not it. As Ecclesiastes 3 verses 1 through 8 says, "For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to tear and a time to sue, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace." There is time for everything in this life. There's times to feel good, there's times to feel bad, but there's also times to get better, to ask for help. And you can go to God about your troubles. Remember, God knows what's in our hearts. It's not like we can really hide anything from him. And yet, he doesn't cast people aside for needing help or having trouble. As I'm sure you've heard before, broken people are exactly the kind of people God uses. He doesn't look for anyone perfect, because we're not perfect. He takes us as we are and helps us get better. And the Bible even encourages it in many places to talk to him about your struggles. And we see that happening many times. I mean, the Psalms is one of the greatest examples, as it's full of people crying out to him in their pain. Even David, the king, the man after God's own heart, struggled and cried out to him in his struggles. If someone like that could do it, then you can as well. God will listen and God will be with you through that. And as Philippians 4 verses 6 through 7 says, "Don't be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." You won't be punished for feeling how you feel. You can go to God and he will listen and he will comfort you. So, what are some ways that you can care for your mental health? Well, one thing, which, I guess goes into a lot of things, is setting good habits, getting the right amount of sleep, eating well, getting things done when they need to be, and even exercising every day are all great things you can and should do for both your mental and physical health. It's hard to care for one when the other is off kilter. They go hand in hand in how they affect each other. And exercise doesn't need to be anything too extreme. You don't need some big, rigorous routine like you're going to be, trying out for the Olympics or you're The Rock. It can just be as simple as going for a nice 30-minute walk, either outside or maybe if you have a treadmill or want to go to the gym, you can do that, which can also do you some good. If you're going outside, you get some fresh air, maybe go to the park, get a nice view of things, change up your scenery a little bit. But it's good to get moving, because just sitting around, you're not really you're doing much. And if you're not feeling the best, you're just going to kind of be sitting there with bad thoughts or just feeling bad. And something else that can help with your mental health is, taking a moment for yourself to rest and get away from things, clear your head, even try praying. We see Jesus do this many times throughout the Gospels after healing people and preaching to the multitude, setting an example of going off to spend time with God, but also showing it's good that sometimes you simply need space for yourself. And heck, he even cried out to God when he was struggling as well. When he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, just before he was going to be betrayed and crucified, he cried out to God. He prayed to him in his pain, and he asked others to pray for him. Even Jesus himself was crying out out in pain. If he could do it, you can do the same. And there's nothing wrong with just asking for a bit of help or just venting it out. You need to do that. Talk to someone you trust, or if you want a more private way to vent, write down how you're feeling. And, of course, as it says in Matthew chapter 6, when you pray, go by yourself, close the door, and be with God. It's just between you and God. And for more serious issues, maybe consider seeing a therapist. You're not any lesser for seeking help. Now, before I go, I just want to say to whoever is listening to this, if you're struggling or know someone who is, things can and will get better. And no, there's nothing wrong with struggling or having issues with mental health. Yes, it can cause issues and bring challenges, but you aren't any lesser for having problems. We all have trials and hard seasons in this life, but we don't have to go through it alone. As Psalm 23 verse 4 says, "Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me." God bless you, and thank you for listening.